This review was brought to you by cigarplace.biz. Hey guys, Brian here from Stogie Review. The coffee's starting to kick in. I'm still a little sluggish, but looks like it's about time to light up the Camacho American Barrel Aged. I don't know if there'll be pictures. That's not going to work very well, but there'll be pictures. You've seen what it looks like. The black band and the orange lettering and all that. Looks quite sexy. It's got the footband with the barrels on it. So this cigar intrigues me. Ever since I first heard about it, it's the most intriguing thing is, as a bourbon drinker, it features tobacco that's been aged in a bourbon barrel. It's 6-year-old corojo filler, I believe, is what spent the time in the barrel, and it also features wrapper, binder, and filler that's quote-unquote American broadleaf, and some filler that's Pennsylvania Maduro, which I'm a fan of the Pennsylvania tobacco in general. Looking it over real quick, I should mention I believe it's about $11 MSRP. This is the Toro, by the way. I should have probably said that sooner. Let's see. Looking it over. A little rustic. Little bit of damage right there that, probably not going to show up, but a little bit of a wrapper damage there that was kind of built into the rolling, and little bit of toothiness. The veins are kind of on the medium to fine side, little lumpy here and there, pretty firm. Smells like I've been handling it. I have, because I've been screwing up video takes. So you know what? I think I'm going to light this guy up, and we're going to talk about it and get right to it. I like the bands on this cigar. They're autobiographical. They give you some good information. They look nice, and they give you some good information. So it says on here, 6-year aged original Corojo, which we knew. American barrel aged. Good. It's got the names, got barrels on it. Bourbon barrel finished for 5 months, which I did not realize until I actually looked at the bands. So I'm getting close to an inch in, and I thought now's a good time to come back in and give you some of my thoughts on it. So a lot of really heavy, earthy, oaky flavor is what I'm getting off of this. There's a little bit of like a bourbon sweetness. There's a little bit of a char, but there's a lot of smoky oak, basically, kind of earthy, smoky oak, and a little bit of spices is mostly what I'm getting at this point. So you probably want to take a look at that. It's burning well, drawing well, good looking ash. No complaints so far. Wow, according to our cigar review index, this is the 40th Camacho review we've done. That's a lot of Camacho. Can we get some rye barrel tobacco up in here? So we're getting close to the halfway point. I figured it would be a good time to chime in now that I've got a kind of an attractive looking ash going on this thing. It's burning really nicely. In terms of flavors, I mean, I'm getting mostly a lot of barrel, a lot of earthy, wood, oaky barrel. There's some kind of spices and a little bit of pepper coming in. I'm getting a little bit of, I'm going to ash this thing. It's getting a little out of hand. I did get a little, there's been a little bit of sweetness here and there. Sometimes it's a little bit caramel-like. Some of it's a little more syrupy. And there's been a little bit of what I would describe as being kind of like a barrel funk, like if I tasted it in a beer. But, and it's almost actually very similar to some of the Davidoff funk I get. So that's where we're at. Not a lot of real change, just like little points of difference, little points of, I'm sure if I'd call it complexity, but there's a little bit more going on. It's not just one thing happening, but there's not a big evolution of flavor so far. Well, I'm out of coffee, so it's time to switch to bourbon. What inspired me to smoke the Camacho American Barrel Age this week is one of our sponsors. They had a banner in our posts that had for sale a Camacho sampler featuring this. It's cigarplace.biz. If you like what we do, you appreciate it. Nice way to say thanks is to click through to their site when you're buying something from them, just to let them know we sent you. Camacho has a reputation for making really potent cigars, very strong cigars. I don't think this is really a strong cigar. This is a good example of a full-flavored or full-bodied cigar without a tremendous amount of strength. So the bourbon is making a big difference in the flavor of the cigar. It's really taken that really potent oaky barrel flavor that it had, and it's kind of tamed a little bit by adding all that the sweet notes of the bourbon, and kind of brought it into line. Additionally, I'm noticing, and it's partly because I looked at one of Ben's old We Can Smoke things about what he was talking about. I'm noticing a little bit of the leather now that I look for it. It wasn't really obvious to me before, but it's there. Get a little bit of the earthy spices, but it's like a lot of oak, and that's bourbon. And I'm done. So, pristine burn, good draw, not a lot of things to update on with the flavor. That there was an increase in the earthy spices a little bit, and that leather. Once I noticed it, it kind of seemed like it became more a part of it. But aside from that, oak and a little bit of lingering pepper. I mean, it is not a tremendous amount of change in this. I mean, it's very similar from the beginning to the end, and the biggest difference was just switching from coffee to bourbon. And to be honest, I don't know that I can't see smoking this without having a glass of bourbon with me. So yeah, it's good. I think it's something that bourbon lovers should definitely drink. Anybody who likes a big earthy, oaky type of cigar, I think you'd be into it. I mean, anybody who likes a Camacho would probably dig it as well. So I think that covers it. Thanks for watching. Hang on, let's get a selfie.